I just created a fitness app using AI. I'm going to walk you through the entire process that I use to build this app. Just a quick disclaimer, I'm not sponsored by anything, but I decided to build this app to play around with AI because I think it is going to be a future of all industries together. And this project pretty much just made me realize how advanced AI has become. I spent probably 3 hours in total coming up with the idea, using a couple AI platforms to decide which one is the best. Decided to land with Base44. It's a website and app designer. And I do not plan to sell this app or promote it. It was just a personal project for me to see the capabilities of AI, and maybe some of the skills I learned in this project will help me transfer to future projects that will actually require AI. And so I'm going to walk you through the whole entire process. I first started just in my notes app, brainstorming what this app is going to be about. This whole brainstorming process, I'd say, took about an hour. It's basically just me coming up with the purpose of the app. I first started with the home page, basically what the user sees right when they log in. They have a login info. They have a questionnaire that they have to answer about their age, sex, height, weight, their training history, whether they're beginner, advanced, intermediate. And then if they want to, they can enter in their previous metrics for squat, bench, and deadlift so that the AI can generate recommended weights when we recommend them a program. So basically, this overall app is to use all the data that the user enters, and the app will have its own algorithm to kind of recommend a workout program with recommended reps, sets, weight, and even exercises. So that's the whole idea behind the app. But the user can still have a lot of customization. For example, how many days out of the week they want to work out, what specific split. Do they want a full body? Do they want an upper lower? Do they want to push pull legs? Depending on the amount of days that they're available to work out. Even what equipment. So if the user says, I only have dumbbells, I only have barbells, the app will only suggest exercises with barbells and dumbbells. If the user has all of the following equipment, then it will be a little bit more complex. So the app will incorporate all of the machines, kettlebells for the workout. On the homepage, I also asked it to have a graph to help track progress. So for example, if the user keeps entering metrics that they use for barbell squats, let's say they started with 100 pounds, they ended up at 200 pounds in the span of a year, it will show that trend going up, maybe small peaks here and there, but the overall trend goes up to that 200 pounds. I brainstorm ideas about the program, how many sets per muscle group per week, which muscles to really focus on, chest, back, shoulders, arms, quads, hamstrings, and glutes, and which ones that people generally don't train as much. So I just said at least train it 3 sets per muscle group per week for calves and abs. The workout will be the main call to action in the homepage. At the beginning of each workout, the app will ask how their sleep, mood, and energy was, and then it would use the algorithm again to basically suggest the amount of volume and the intensity that they should be training with. I also asked it for a rough estimate of the amount of time, because we want to keep the workouts generally for me personally, an hour or less. Let's see. Yeah, basically just entering the workouts, using AI to recommend the weight they should use based on the previous performance and questionnaire. Have other workouts. So this one I thought was pretty important. So if someone wants to train core more often, someone wants to train glutes more often, there will be a additional tab to add other workouts. So like if you want to add extra glute day, add an extra arm day, then they can have the ability to do so, while the AI will recommend that day and also use that data to help with programming for the future too. So if you want to add arm day, maybe throughout the next week, there'll be a little bit less arms here and there because we also want to balance the volume without increasing it too much. For the design, I asked it to make it minimalistic, sleek and modern, just easy to use. And the last feature I have is a vacation mode. So if you go to vacation, there's usually hotel gyms, but the hotel gyms never have all the equipment that you want. So this vacation mode, when it's toggled, it would reduce the requirement of the equipment. So if you have a barbell bench press in there, it will probably switch it to a dumbbell bench press. Um, yeah, so this whole brainstorming on the whole Notes app, all of this took around an hour. Just wrote it out really quick ideas, not too much thinking, but using my experience of using other fitness apps and all that, it was a random idea. So once I completed that, just writing it out in the Notes app, I went to ChatGPT, basically prompted by saying, I am developing an app. These are the concepts. I want them to help me organize all the concepts into as if I was presenting it to an app developer. So once they help me organize it, they basically give me a entire app spec of everything that I told it to do, while sectioning it off to make it a little bit easier to read and a little bit more clear instead of just, random words on a page. So these are all the information I already told you, but they just organized it. I also asked it to ask me questions that an app developer might have by using this information, because there's a lot of gaps that are unfilled. I don't have a brain of a app developer, so I don't know what they want. So I asked them to ask me questions individually. So like, for example, they'll ask me at the core, do you want this app to behave more like a structured programming, a fully adaptive system, a hybrid of both? And I would just tell them what I want. So B, I wanted a fully adaptive system. So the workouts are generated dynamically each day based on the performance and readiness of the survey and the previous workout. So they asked me like close to 50 questions. I didn't even realize there was so many questions, but I just answered really quickly. I mean, just not official or final. I'm not publishing this app. So scroll all the way down here. I kept getting them answers. It was really good questions. ChatGPT does good as usual. Once it got close to question 50, I was like, how many more questions? Because I think it will just keep going. But they limited it down to 5 or 7 more key questions. So I kept answering those all the way down here. Okay, so now once ChatGPT, they know my entire idea, they know exactly what I want out of the app. Now I'm going to prompt it to give me everything the developer needs to build an app. I don't know what that is. Maybe that's code. Maybe that's a project document that they need. So I said, take your time, make sure all the details are included. It's a very simple prompt. And basically what they needed was exactly what I just said, a project requirements document or system blueprint. It gave me the entire system blueprint using all of this information here that they summarized and all the questions that I asked. I believe it was all the questions that I answered. I believe it was 57 questions that ChatGPT asked me to do. And then now they put it all in a document. It's a very long document that goes all the way down here. Asked it to put in a better format so I can just copy and paste it to use it in Base44, which I'll get to later. This is an entire document. It's a lot of words. I decided to just sound smart and say, turn this into a developer-ready technical spec with APIs and database schema. That's something that I was recommended by ChatGPT. So I just said yes. It gave me the architecture of all the coding, whatever. I do not understand any of this, but that's the beauty of AI. They basically gave me code for every single part of the app. And same thing here. I provided everything in the document. They provided all the different types of code in the document. Boom. And then just for extra clarification, I just said, can you give me a revised instructions essay similar to the initial instructions I gave you? So this was the initial instructions. It includes additional details from the questions you asked me. So this is similar to the initial project document that they provided, but it was more bullet points and less description. So I wanted the description of the flow of the workout and how it was going to turn out. And that's exactly what they gave me. I know it's still a lot of bullet points, but it's a little more descriptive and a little bit longer as well. Okay, so that's the end of ChatGPT. It gave me the entire idea, revised my idea, gave me some code. Now I am ready to enter this in. I entered in all the relevant information into a Google Doc, basically just copying and pasting everything they gave me. Yeah, it's a lot of pages, a lot of bullet points, but once I have that in, I okay. So once I finish this, I actually use Manus AI to initially help me create an app. But I've ran into a few issues. First of all, the app wasn't too, I don't know, this just didn't work. I tried to log in, everything was flying left and right. Maybe because I'm in the free version. Oh, by the way, I didn't use any money to make any of these. So I'm on the free plan. Maybe that's why. But when I decided to right here develop apps, I entered in the prompt. It created an app. It worked, but it just wasn't what I wanted. So I heard ads about Base44. So I was like, okay, forget about Mantis. I'm sure it's great. I'm sure the Pro Max version will probably give me a better app. But for now, I think I wanted to shift my platform to one that focuses on direct app development rather than Manus, which kind of does everything. It does websites, it does apps, it does whatever ChatGPT does, it does creating slides, design. So I'll definitely still use Manus in my workflow, but maybe not to create apps, not for now. So let's get rid of Manus. So I went to Base44. Again, I'm in the free plan. I just signed up and then it just worked. So it's great. Didn't spend any money. Let me move myself. Okay. So as you can tell, I used up all the free credits. My credits renew in 5 hours, but forget it. I mean, I'm not going to publish this app, so I don't need to make it perfect. But anyways, the prompts, I just copied and pasted the project requirements document. So everything in here, I just copied this entire document, pasted it into Base44. They probably spent like 10, 15 minutes reading it and kind of planning for the app. So there you go. See if I can expand this. Let me just, yeah, I can't remove this 0 credits remaining. So you will have to look at this top left corner for now. Okay, so I'll build this adaptive strength training program and then it planned the architecture. So color palette does everything, uses all the bullet points that I asked it to do, wrote a whole bunch of code that I do not understand, a lot of code, how onboarding works, how the workouts work, history, exercises. By the way, I'd even say or make a list of exercises. I mean, I just said upper body, lower body. I'm sure AI can figure it out. What's an upper body exercise? What's a push exercise? So none of the program is actually myself. If I want to make this a further development, then yes, I would probably have an initial program, create programs that I would typically give to a client and then have AI kind of progress that. So I don't have to do the progression. But again, this is just a trial. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. It's just an experiment of the capabilities of AI. Okay. So it created the app. They had some issues, so I just went kind of back and forth. For example, originally they only had an option to do an upper lower, but I said I also wanted to push pull legs. I also wanted a Arnold split, and other program splits. Vacation mode didn't work, so I asked them to fix it, and it did. So basically, everything that you told it to do, it'll do. And then I was going to ask it some more stuff, but 0 credits remaining, unfortunately. But so this is what they provided. First of all, I can't really show when I first logged in because I already entered in my info. But basically, when you first log in, you enter in your profile, so your age, your weight, height, and then, like I said, you can enter in your squat, bench, and deadlift 1 rep max. It will use this data to basically recommend weights. So if I put like 315, 145, 135, whatever, anything it would save and save that information to help me program um, exercises. I am not 5'6". I am 5'8". There you go. Okay. Training frequency, how many days a week I can train. I can change it to, let's say, 4. What's my goal? Do I want to have strength, hypertrophy, fat loss? Let's say I want strength. And then what training split do I want? Do I want full body, upper lower, push pull legs? Do I want a hybrid split? Hybrid is basically just kind of full body, but it's more specific. So, for example, it might give me a shoulders and legs, instead of full body. It might give me arms and back, right? So let's go, just keep it simple, upper lower. So upper body 1 day, lower body the next day. What equipment I have everything. Let's say I don't have kettlebells, then I would toggle that off. But I have dumbbells, barbells, squat racks, bench machines, cable machines. So a typical commercial gym. Injuries and notes. So if I have like knee pain, then I would ask it to kind of adapt and modify the program based on what AI knows about new plane. They'll probably have maybe, I don't know, less lower body volume, maybe more exercises targeted towards knee pain rehab, like terminal knee extension, stuff like that. But because I don't have any injuries, I'm just going to leave that blank. And in vacation mode, I'm not on vacation, unfortunately, so I'm going to keep that off. Save changes. Perfect. Now ready to train. I've been already playing around with this, so it already said that I completed all 4 workouts. But this is the home page. So how many workouts, because I chose a 4-day split, I completed 4 out of 4. What's my streak? I've been doing this for 1 day, so it says 1 day. And then I'm not sure what this means. Who knows? Maybe we'll figure it out together. And then readiness. So before each workout, it will ask you basically how well you slept, what's your mood, and what's your energy. Give me these little icons here. So I just put 4 out of 5, 4 out of 5, 4 out of 5, average it out, 4 out of 5. All my recent workouts that I played around with, which is down in history down here. In the toolbar here, also shows progress. So like strength progress. So if I add weights and enter it, it will show the trend of how strong I got for a week. My readiness, because I entered in 444, this is my day today. This is my readiness. I think each day that you log in, it would reset and graph the results on this graph. And then volume, and then it'll use this data to also progress or adapt according to what you need. Okay, so let's go into the workouts. Start workout. Today is we have an upper lower split onto a strength. So here it is, upper A, incline barbell bench press. It'll recommend warm-up weight, which is something I also asked it to do. So I'll first do 10 reps with 65 pounds, 6 reps with 95 pounds, and then 3 reps with 130 pounds. And it recommends me to do 160 pounds for 6 reps, which is about accurate, I think, because I entered in my max bench is 225, just as a random number. And then doing 160 for 6 for incline seems about right. So let's say I'm in the gym right now, and for the first set, let's say I do it for 8, right? Just because I'm fresh, I feel good. Then I'm going to switch that to 8, click check. And then once I click check, it will have a recommended rest. This rest is AI generated. It depends on the intensity of exercise. Like, for example, a compound movement like a squat or a bench might have a longer rest period. So it gave me 2 minutes and 30 seconds. But if let's say we're doing a dumbbell curl, right? I don't think I need 2.5 minutes of rest. It might just give me like 90 seconds. I don't know. AI does it. I can also reset the timer. I can also pause the timer. And I can also just skip the timer and just go on to my next set. Okay, so my next set is, let's say I do 5 reps instead of 8. That's quite a big jump. Let's say I do 7 reps. Check it, timer. Okay, let's say that timer is up. Then I just complete all of this, right? So check, check, check. Perfect. 8, 7, 6, 6. And then I gotta rate my RPE. So this is my rating of perceived exertion. Basically out of 10, 10 being the hardest, I can't do another one, then I would rate it a 10. But I think for me, if I went 8, 7, 6, 6, I still stayed in within the recommended rep range. I say I go for around an RP 8 or 9, say 8. Perfect. Incline barbell bench press is done. Also up here shows how many exercises you have, recommended time or the average time it will take to do this exercise, 57 minutes, and then my readiness for the day, which is a thumbs up. I don't know, it's a fire symbol. Anyways, 4 out of 5. Okay, let's say I finished my barbell bench press. I'm moving on to my T-bar row, but unfortunately, my gym does not have a T-bar row. Okay, so although it recommends, I use 45 pounds for 6 reps, it doesn't matter because I don't have a T-bar row. So I'm gonna click the squat button down here. And there you go. It comes with different horizontal back exercises, which I think is crazy. I mean, I just AI knows, I'm not going to swap a T-bar row, which is a horizontal pulling movement, with a vertical lat pull down, right? Because I believe I'll have a lat pull down later. Yeah, there you go, lat pull down. So because it's a horizontal pull, which is highlighted right here, which I also programmed it to do, I'm swap it with another horizontal pull with something that I actually can do. Let's say I want a barbell row. Perfect. This is quite light. Maybe the algorithm or something doesn't know what weights I use, but I'm not using 45 pounds. Let's say I use 135. Do that for 6. Perfect. Rest timer, skip rest. Again, same process, doing these sets. As you can see, this was more of a horizontal pushing movement, incline barbell bench. So my next pushing movement will be a vertical push, on or press 35 pounds. Again, I can choose my RPE. And a lat pull down, let's say I am at a home gym. I don't have a lat pull down. I can swap it with pull-ups instead. I don't know why it says 45 pounds, but pull-ups, let's just say I'm doing body weight, 0 pounds, and pull reps. So as you can tell, like this, it's not perfect. I mean, maybe they're asking me to do weighted pull-ups. Cool. But I don't think that's the intention here. There's additional and really advanced programming that I can prompt it to do if I have more credits. But again, this is just me showing you and me learning of what AI is capable of. Okay, let's say I ended the workout early. I can rate the difficulty. If I press a 1, my next upper body workout is going to be a little bit harder. They might increase the volume. They're going to increase the recommended weights that I use. But if I click a 5, brutal, in the next upper body workout, they're probably going to ask me to do fewer sets. Instead of 4 sets on pull-ups, they're probably going to ask me to do 3. I'm not saying that's for sure, but that's my intention going in and building this app. Save and finish. Perfect. All that workout is saved in my history right here. This is the history of what I did. I entered in the weights for the incline barbell bench press, barbell row, Arnold press. And then these I didn't enter, so you just get the blank. And here you go. If I want to train for my next workout, I just did a upper body. So my next workout should be a lower body. Hopefully it is. And bam, lower body A. And let's say I don't want to do lower body. I'm just crazy. I want to do another upper body workout. I can go and jump straight ahead to the next upper body workout. But let's say I am doing lower body. And let's say I'm on vacation mode. Let's try it out. Vacation mode, save changes. Oh, see, some stuff just doesn't work. It just basically removes all the exercises that requires equipment. So why don't we go, since this vacation mode doesn't work, let's go to equipment. Let's say we only have dumbbells, squat rack. Let's say we don't have machines and we don't have a cable machine. How about that? Save changes, go back to my workout. Bam. Switches it out to a front squat, conventional deadlift, ab wheel rollout, farmer's walk. Perfect. We got a squatting movement. We got a hinging movement, which is perfect. We got a core and we got a carry. And then for my next workout, instead of starting with a squat, it starts with a hinge, then barbell back squat, core movement, carry movement. Simple, easy. Squat, hinge, core, carry. Perfect for a lower body workout. So the program is actually not that bad. I mean, I would program things a little bit differently. Like this is a lot of volume. We have 4 sets. Like we're doing a bench, we're doing an Arnold press, and then another 4 sets of close grip bench. It is a lot of volume. It's doable, but it is quite a lot. So I mean, there's definitely work to be done. But I mean, for just starting off with just note page of just me rambling ideas, these were the only ideas that they built it off from, right? So all of these, just a short, description. This took me an hour. It built this entire app. So it's pretty impressive. I can also choose. So once I complete the app, let's say this is the final version and everything is done. It's quite slow today. What's going on? So let's just say this is the final version, right? There's no mistakes. Everything looks good. I think the design looks good. If I want to change the design, I can also prompt to change. Like if I want, instead of blue, I want it red. It'll go ahead and do that for me. So I can't show you right now because I don't have credits, but you get the idea. Let's say I want to publish this app. I have an option to publish it on mobile apps. So I can first Base44 run it through an app scan to see if it fits the guidelines, if there's any copywriting issues, if the name even works. Like I didn't even come up with this name. They did. Apex Adaptive. It's pretty cool. And then I don't know why it's Forge here, but that's a cool name too. So Apex Adaptive, Forge, whatever, making sure that app is not making sure another app on the App Store is not also named Forge or Apex Adaptive. That's basically what it will do. And then in order for me to actually submit the app to an app store, I do need a premium subscription. So I do have to pay, I think the basic is $16 a month, which is really not that bad if you're making money off the app, or if you have in-app purchases, which I don't, but if you want to add in-app purchases, you can. Like you want a one-on-one coaching, you want a technique check, or a toolbar where they can have a technique submit, which they'll send to me and I can review the technique. And maybe that costs, I don't know, like $10 a month, something like that. So if you can scale the app, if there's room to scale the app, then you can, spend some money, submit it to the App Store. I believe the App Store itself requires a $99 annual fee for the user, for app developers to submit an app. So I believe you can submit as many apps as you want. So once you pay that $99 annual fee to the App Store, you can submit as many apps and publish as many apps as you want. Don't quote me on that, but that's what I heard. But because I don't have the premium plan, we're just going to go to web. I can create a custom domain. So I want to go on, I don't know, GoDaddy and then find a domain, Keenan's Apex Adaptive App.com, whatever. I can create a domain for that. But for now, I'm just going to use whatever link they give me, copy that. And when I paste it, it would be on my web browser. So instead of Base44, or instead of me going to Base44 and doing it here, I can just go to the website and then it's basically the same thing. I have everything down here, train, history, progress settings. I can even sign out, sign back in, continue with Google. I can do everything here through this app. So yeah, that's basically the entire process. Took me, I'd say 3 hours, an hour to make the idea. I did it on the flight. So I was just typing on the flight, nothing else to do. So I was like, let me just create an app. An hour to do this. I say it took an hour for me to run through the entire ChatGPT, making it a prompt that is well read and well spoken to an app developer. So it took an hour to do that, build this. And I'd say it probably took an hour to play around with Manus AI. It's probably spent like 30 minutes on that. It didn't work. Spent another 30 minutes on Base44. It did work. And I don't know, maybe I spent another 30 minutes correcting some issues that I have. But I mean, hey, for 3 hours building this app using AI is pretty impressive. Honestly, Base44 is not that new of a company too. See, Base44 founded early 2025. So like they're a new company, basically 1 year. Imagine in 5 years what this software or whatever coding that they use, imagine what that would be in 5 years' time. I mean, it's crazy. There'll probably be like minimal mistakes. I think the future of AI is just coming up with ideas. You got to plant the crops will grow by itself. You don't know how the crops grow, you don't know what goes into it, the process, but all you need is the ideas and AI will build it for you. So again, this app is not, I'm not trying to sell it. I'm not trying to, promote it or anything. I just think at this point in time, it's very important for everyone, no matter what industry you're in, to use AI, and potentially it can help you in the future. And I think it is the future. If you, for example, I'm a personal trainer. So if I train a client, right now I write everything in a Google Doc and spreadsheet. But let's just say I want to show the client a visual of their progress. Then I would go into Google Doc, and then the old school way is saying, oh, okay, it's 6 weeks ago, we tested your bench, you got 135. 6 weeks later, you got 155. You got an increase of 20 pounds. But what about in a year or 2 years, right? It's kind of hard to see the trend. So creating a graph, I know you can do it in Excel and all that complicated stuff, or you can just submit it into an AI software and they can just graph it for you, or you can create maybe an app for every single individual client, right? Let's say I have a client, call a client Joe. If I have Joe and I'm training Joe, let's say I create an app called Joe's Training App. In this training app, I basically can submit programs to Joe and he can do it on this app. And all the app data is traced back to me individually. Now, probably there's apps like that right now, but imagine creating an app individualized to what you want and what you want to track in your client. Let's say you're a performance coach and you want to track your athlete's sprint time, right? Some of the apps may only have features to track strength, but you also want to add a feature to add performance. I feel like in 5 years, it will be so easy to continue to track, everything. That's just tracking too. There's so many other things you can do with apps. But anyways, hope you enjoyed watching this and maybe create an app yourself.